welcome back to Wonder Wednesday number 2, week 2. Lovely to have you tuning in. Hopefully you can see and hear me okay. Am I looking all right? Yeah, I think so. Great to be back. I hope you enjoyed last week's Wonder Wednesday, looking at air. The theme of the week was clean air, and we did an experiment to find out the volume capacity of my lungs, which I found was 2.9. And what I thought afterwards is I should really, to put that result into a bit more context, check whether or not that was about appropriate for someone of my size. So I went and did a bit of secondary source research. I did some looking up online and even dipped into and read a book. And I found out actually that I have a fairly average lung capacity, which is good to know. So this week, it's a space-themed week. And I love space. I'm going to share with you a project that I've done in the past, all to do with space, in a minute. But before I get into that, one thing I did want to do is share some fantastic work from pupils at Russell Scott Primary School, based in South Manchester, an area called Denton, because they've actually been doing some work in their school which links to the Clean Air Week from last week. So this was a project they were already doing, but the Great Science Share is all about sharing your wonderful scientific curiosity and the experiments and investigations that you're doing. It's not just about me talking this way, it's about hearing what's going on out there. So before I get into anything for this week's Wonder Wednesday, let me tell you a little bit about what they've been doing. Let me show you it on the Great Science Share website, and let me encourage you to go and watch the videos that they've created, because they really are fab. So I'm going to switch to screen share, and there we go, we're on to the greatscienceshare.org website. So to learn a little bit more about what they've been doing, you can go to the See Some Shares. Now this is the part of the website where, as we get more and more content, pictures, feedback from yourselves that you're sending in, that you've been doing the experiments we've been talking about, or watching the content from people like Medical Mavericks, and you're telling us what you think, your shares are going to go on this part of the website. And to start with, here we go, we've got Russell Scott. Now, let me tell you a little bit about what they've been doing. I'm not going to tell you everything because I want you to go on and have a look at this. But they have basically found that they've been campaigning, they've been doing some direct action campaigning about the poor air quality around their school. Their school is basically sandwiched between, and the head teacher's written a fantastic blog which you should all go and read here. But their school is sandwiched between the motorway and a huge shopping retail centre with spaces for hundreds of cars. And as a result, the air quality, the levels of pollution around their school are really rather dangerously high. So they have been doing lots of campaigning, awareness raising around their school, trying to get people to be more considerate and think about the impact of their actions on the air quality around the school. They've made a couple of great videos here. Let me play you a little bit of this video here. I'm going to unplug my microphone so that hopefully then you can hear this. Or be able... Just checking till I'm back. I think I'm back there. So here we go. We can watch a little bit of this. So there's their school. There's the motorway.
Manchester. This is the M60 Junction 24, just 500 metres away from the school I go to, Russell Scott Primary School. You've guessed it, we have high levels of air pollution.
Between the motorway and our school is a busy shopping centre with its own car park and hundreds of cars. That's air pollution all of our children are breathing in daily.
It's about the length of a football pitch from here to our school gates. This is a very busy main road where all the traffic to and from the motorway, the shopping retail park, commuters and local residents use every day. As you can imagine, clean air is something we're gasping for, and we're passionate about change to make it happen. We are really, really proud of everything we have done as a school to help clean air that we breathe.
Now, as I said, I'm not going to play you it all because I don't want to spoil it. I want you to go on and watch the rest of that video to find out exactly what it is that they have been doing. Things like giving out parking tickets to people parking too close to the school and leaving engines running, etc., unnecessarily adding to pollution levels. So well done to Russell. Let me come back. There I am there. Well done to Russell Scott Primary School and all of the pupils that were involved in that and the head teacher there. It's an absolutely fantastic, meaningful project to be part of and campaign to be part of, really changing the quality of the pupils' experience of that school. So well done to everyone there, and it's such a nice link to last week's Wonder Wednesday theme, or last week's great science share scheme of clean air. Now back to, just to say, if you want me to share your work that you've been doing at the start of next Wonder Wednesday's session, all you have to do is send it in to the Great Science Share website. Let me show you where to do that again, just in case you have forgotten. On the Great Science Share website, if you go to Share Your Science at the top there, there are a number of ways that you can share your science with us. But our preferred method is using the uploader. So use the uploader here, and you can upload photos or slides or film or whatever it might be of you doing your science. And last week I couldn't find the Share It sheet that you can use to submit those your resources, but I know where they are now. If I go to find a resource and I go to the teacher pack, in the teacher pack here we go. These are the Share It sheets, which you can use to record what you've been doing, your questions, your investigations, what you found out, your conclusions. Submit one of those to the uploader and you go in to the draw to potentially get a curiosity box sent to you to do even more investigations, science investigations, explorations, satisfying that scientific curiosity that we want you to have. Right, so there we go. That's a quick recap. Let's get into this week's Wonder Wednesday topic then of space, and I'm going to start by sharing with you a project that I did a few years ago which featured this little man. Let me see, can you see, or if I come to the camera here, can you see him in there? Let me just check. Yeah, I think you can. That is a Lego me. That was a Lego me. Can you see the glasses on there? If I hold it still, I think you might just be able to. A few years ago, let me tell you the story. A few years ago, myself and my friend from university, because we both studied aerospace engineering, we really wanted to go to space, but it's quite expensive to send yourself to space. So we thought, as a good alternative, we would send Lego versions of ourselves to space. So I had this Lego man made up. You can order them online and tailor them to look like yourself. I'm not sure that I have a yellow cylindrical head, but I do have glasses. And my friend Ian had his done up as well. And we built a little capsule to send them to space. And we used a weather balloon. And let me just show, I've got some pictures here to share with you. Yeah, there they are. There's Ian and myself. I think in retrospect, I would have probably done well to have an enclosed helmet like Ian did, because we all know that the atmosphere gets rather thin as the higher we go and it's more difficult to breathe. It also gets very, very cold. But there we are, sat on the top of the little capsule that we built. We called it the Manchester Meteor. And we released it with a weather balloon. I think if you go to this page here, I'm going to show you how to access this page. There we are, setting it up. There we are with our giant balloon full of helium gas, which is lighter than air, so it rises. We let it go, and off it disappeared right up into the Earth's outer atmosphere, kind of to the edge of space, high enough up to get some incredible photos like this. Now, I've got to be honest, the curvature of the Earth here is a little bit accentuated due to the camera we're using. But isn't it a cool picture nonetheless? You can clearly see the black of space above and the cloud formations below. This was sort of over Wales. We released it in West Wales and it drifted right across the whole country. And I went for a spacewalk. Yep, that is me, well, Lego me, going for a spacewalk at about 60,000 feet, and I managed to capture it on camera. Now, if you want to, we've also got some videos, I'll show you a quick one here, but if you want to have a look and read a little bit more about how we did this project, this is a friend's website, and he wrote an article. We wrote an article together on it at the time. All you have to search for is Manchester Meteor PC Review, and you'll get this page. And so we've got footage on here. We've got footage of it going up. There we are. I look a bit younger there, don't I? There it is. There's the camera on it just after we've released it. The wind was quite strong that day, so it's spinning around a little bit. Then it went all the way up. Here is the apogee, so the very top of the ascent. There's the balloon. You'll see the balloon burst. So the balloon burst because the pressure outside reduced significantly. So the pressure inside the balloon increased until it burst the latex balloon. It's about to happen now. Now, there we go. That actually bursting the balloon knocked me off. There I go for a spacewalk, and now it's tumbling back towards Earth. But we had a parachute on it which inflated and then slowed the fall back to Earth, and we went and found it in between a sewage plant and a lake on the east coast of England. So please do go and check out that webpage if you want to learn a little bit more about the technical details of how we did that. And I would really encourage anyone who's thinking about doing a little space project like that using a weather balloon to go for it. Because it's great, it's really interesting to do, it's great fun, you get some really cool pictures, and then you can have things like this, which is a picture I have in the frame in my house of me, Lego me, going for a spacewalk. So there we go. Oh, and one other thing I was going to show you as well. Oh no, we'll come to that in a second. Okay, so on the theme of space, I love space, as you've seen there from the project I did. We're going to think about space today with our investigation. We're going to do a fair test, because if you look up at the night sky at night, you look out at space, the universe, and you look at our moon, you'll notice something about our moon. And I noticed this when I was on holiday. I was actually on my honeymoon, so there's a nice connection there. And they had a telescope in the hotel I was in, and I asked them could I borrow it and use it, and I was looking at the moon, and if you look closely at the moon, you'll see that it's covered in craters, which are, you can identify them here of various different sizes, approximately circular. And in this investigation we're going to do today, we're going to explore a little bit about how those craters come to exist on the moon. And we're going to explore how they might vary in size due to for different reasons, for different variables. So the craters are there because things have impacted on the moon, asteroids, meteorites, etc., that have collided with the moon. And there are going to be different factors which affect how big those craters end up being. And I wanted to explore that a little bit more, and that's the suggested activity for you to do this week as well. So we're going to do a fair test investigation to explore, and you'll get to choose your variables. So is it how fast the meteorite is hitting the moon for it to that determines how big the crater is? Is it the weight of it? Is it the surface that it lands in? Does that change the size of the crater that's left? Okay, so with your teacher, you're going to spend a little bit of time thinking about what it is you want to investigate. It's the size of crater which we're going to measure, but the other variable which we're changing to explore the effect of it on the size of the crater is up to you to have a little bit of a think about. Now, I've thought about it here because I'm going to kind of demonstrate this for you, and I want to investigate the height that the asteroid and meteorite is falling from. So now, hopefully, if I switch to this camera here, you should suddenly see me coming from the left. You can, but I'm not moving, am I? It's because my iPad's gone off down here. 1 second. Let's pop this back on again. Let's do that. And, sorry, not very smooth, but bear with me. I'll be back in just 1 second. Let's do that, and let's do that there. And then if I come up here and do this and do this, we're nearly there. What I am trying to do is I am trying to mirror my iPad so that it acts as, there we go, acts as a second camera down here, so that you can see my little setup down here. There we go, we're winning. Let's put it up a little bit more like that. There we go, cool. Okay, so, and you can still hear me, I hope, and I need to look at you this way. There you are. Right, okay, so to do this experiment, the equipment I'm going to need is I've got like a kind of tray here with the material, the surface material. This is going to sort of simulate the moon surface. I've got some flour in here. And then what I've done is I've set up a tape measure here. And I've got my asteroid, here it goes, that I'm going to be able to drop from various heights into the flower representing the moon's surface, and I'm going to be able to then measure the size of the crater. So I'm going to be able to investigate how the height that it's dropped from affects the size of the crater. Now, because this, I'm just checking this is still working, I hope it is, because this is a fair test investigation, it's really important that we think through that we're not changing more than one variable. So here, I'm measuring the size of the crater. The variable that I'm changing is the height that I'm dropping from. I want everything else to be the same between tests. So I can't use this as the meteorite the first go and then switch over to this. I have lots of plastic balls to hand because my daughter's play pen is just behind the camera there. So because this is really light and this is quite heavy, they're not going to be the same, and therefore we're not going to know what the impact of just the variable of the height changing is going to be. So one thing you're going to have to do when you come to doing your experiment is think carefully about keeping everything else the same. You can't change the flour in between. You can't change this suddenly and use rice instead, because that won't be a fair test. So if you're ever in my class at Crumpsall Lane, when we talk about fair tests, you know that I have a picture of a baby crying, going, "It's not fair." And we have that displayed until we think of everything that we need to keep the same. And then it goes to, it's now fair. So anyway, you need to think about that. I've given it some thought here as well. I'm not going to do all of the tests here. I'm just going to demonstrate how you would do this. So we've got our tray. We've got our measure set up. And what I was going to do then is drop it, first of all, from 10 centimetres, then from 20, then from 30, etc. I'm also going to do each one more than once because that helps to identify any anomalies in our results and we can take an average of them. So here we go. I would go from 10 centimetres first of all, keeping it as accurate as possible, dropping it from 10 centimetres. Okay, then I'm going to carefully take it out of here. Which camera can I use? I can use this camera because I can move you around. And you can see in there, hopefully, that we've got. I'm not very good at aiming this. Why am I going every way the wrong way? There we go. Can you see the crater there that it is formed? Okay, so I can get the other ruler, which I have here, and I can measure that. That's 55 centimetres. And then I have got the final piece of scientific apparatus I've got here is a kitchen utensil to level off my flour again. And again, for keeping things a fair test, then you want to make sure that you're leveling it off at the right height relative to where I've set my measure. And then we go again. So I'm going to do that all the way up until we get to much bigger drops from up here. I've just covered myself in flour. And then there is actually flour everywhere. Let's go back to wide shot. There we go. And repeat your test, change your variable, find out what it is, investigate what it is that you are exploring the effect on the size of the crater. And then share your science. Send it in. Let us see what you have been doing, because I would love to see your efforts and share them on this on the Wonder Wednesday next week. Okay, so all the best. Good luck with your investigation. The last thing I want to tell you about today is a fantastic, I love the idea of this project. It's called the Stardust Hunters project, and it's just recently launched, and it's all about being able to find bits of meteorite in your gutters. Yep, in yours. There might be a bit of meteorite in one of the gutters or by the drains on your house. So please check it. The project is all about telling you how to find these, and then if you find them, you can send them in so they can analyse them to find out what the material, what these meteorites are made up of, what metals and ores, etc. They're actually made from. So do check that out. The information about that project is on the weekly theme page for this week. So a quick reminder just before I finish, if you go to find a resource and then click on the weekly themes and go into the space theme, and in there's the Stardust Hunters project information, along with many other things as well. There's lots of other ways that you can get involved with the Great Science Share in that part of the website. So there we go. Right, I'm going to go and start clearing up all this flour. You go and have a go at this investigation. Let me know how you get on, and I look forward to seeing you this time next week. Bye for now.